I am here because we are at a social tipping point, folks. And we need to take a moment, all of us in society, and analyze what's going on here. Why are we here? What are we doing? And where did we come from? Let's start with the one thing we can all see eye to eye on. Basically, the one thing that each and every human being can agree is important. As important as food, water, or air. Entertainment! It is a necessity. We cannot exist without it. Really, think about it. What do we do all day, every day, since we invented the entire internet to play with? We like, we comment on, and we create entertainment. We together find out what we like or don't like the most. Just look at our politics, and you can see. That's all that matters to us. Being entertained. But why? Is it because that is why we exist? To create and fill in the gaps of the universe that need filling? Everything that can exist must exist. So is each painting, each manuscript, each theatrical line preordained in the original code of the universe? Or, on a more grounded level, is it because for a brief moment we could all get together and all laugh or cry or feel amazed, dazzled, excited, or think as one, letting go of the pain of existence for one brief respite, because to feel through an emotion is to grow in your soul, and entertainment is the cheat code for that growth. And this show, with its worldwide spotlight, an ultimate spotlight in the form of the golden buzzer, is the world's center for transforming entertainment into energy. Energy in the form of fame, money, influence, love. So what is talent? The internal ability to bring excitement, joy, comedy, thought, love, passion, beauty from someplace inside of your soul to other people. It is connection in its purest form. That is why we need it. Because even the world's loneliest hermit needs human connection, whether it be through television, music, movies. What happens if we become unconnected to anyone? We literally go insane. Think of a prisoner in solitary confinement. The mind cannot exist without others. Why? Because we are the same. Quantum physics tells us that that which is the same is actually the same thing. You see, there are three states of being. Separate, but at equilibrium with each other. Together, and as one whole. And then it begins again. We exist here, in between time, space, and mass. As they constantly, in their second state, as they constantly shift to their third state. And the specific ratio we exist in between, become the rules of space, time, and mass as we know them. Time, or rather the environment around time, is constantly shifting. This means it must constantly subtract or add lower dimensions of its structure to stay stable. It is like a picture made up of 1,000 smaller pictures, made up of smaller pictures, and so on. Except every time you subtract or add a picture, the whole image changes a bit. We exist as one of these lower dimensions. And what we experience as time is really that physical movement. Mass is more interesting. Take a journey with me into your mind's eye. Imagine one of the trillions of cells working inside of your body. Now imagine all of the atoms it takes to make that cell. Trillions. Imagine the electrons, protons, and neutrons. Now even smaller, the quarks that make them up. Further down to the quantum world, where one thing can exist in multiple places at once, where one thing can be both a solid and a wave at the same time. Now the strings of string theory. Now further, 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 smaller and smaller, until nothing exists but space and time. The only thing they have to react with is each other. Tiny wormholes form in the fabric of space. This again is space and time acting together through the ratio we exist in. So, these wormholes reverberate, and as they blip out of these wormholes reverberate as they blip in and out of existence, sending wave after wave crashing into one another. Call it the first sound to ever exist. These waves build and build until they become everything we see around us, everything we are, and everything we are is sound. This is also where you can find the DNA, the blueprint of our existence. Because once the waves start to build, what do they have to follow? The ratio of time, space, and mass. Imagine a tree. Its form exists on every part of the planet, but it is different depending on its placement in space. Everything that is the same thing. The blueprint for a tree is what a tree is, what the color blue is, what the feeling soft is. They exist as singular codes, if you would, before they differentiate into our particular environment. This also exists within our minds. They are called schemas. And every tree you have experienced, every color blue, everything soft you have touched goes into that particular schema. So when you see a cat, you access the schema for that cat. And you see every cat you have witnessed in your life. Our minds and the universe share this connection, and everything that is the same thing is the same thing. So where does it all begin? Where do all these rules come from? These numbers are representative of the constant rules everything in existence must follow. 0 represents singularity, the origin of existence, the original paradox. Because once and only once in the infinity of existence, 0 reacts with itself. In that instance, it divorces from its singular state and must differentiate. There you get 0 acting with 1, existence, the first dimension. From 0's perspective, it is 0 looking at 1, but from 1's perspective, it is 0 looking at 1. Singularity. The second they begin to react with each other, you could label them 1 and negative 1. Push and pull, the second paradox. And now that they exist, every version of them must exist. So now the second dimension reacts with the first. Now the second dimension acts once and only once in the infinity of existence with the first, creating the third paradox. They can now react with each other. 1, negative 1, and 0. Now I know what you're thinking. We live in the third dimension, but this is false. We are made from the third dimension. We live under both the fifth and fourth dimensions. 3 reacting with 2 and 3 reacting with 1. The fifth dimension is what happens when space, time, and mass reach the third state. And I have already mentioned the fourth dimension. The Aborigines call it the dream. The Hindu call it the Akashic record. South Park calls it Imagination Land. It is the blueprint that exists before existence. Let's try to contact it all together. Simon, here's a book of every radio station in the United States. Please pick one at random and tell us what you picked.